What is up, guys, and welcome back to episode number 104 now of the Leeds United career mode. We kicked the episode off by simming this game here against Bournemouth. Now, yesterday's episode, I asked you guys what you thought we should do if a job does open up, and I don't particularly know what job's going to open up, but I asked you guys what to do in terms of if a job opened up midway through the season. Should I take it or should I wait till the end of the season? Now, as I'm recording this, that episode hasn't gone live yet, so I don't know if you guys have left the comments on that, but if you haven't left a comment on that one, leave a comment on this one and let me know. There is, and tomorrow's episode probably, only 2 games, because I did in fact show you that a buy-in deal was actually accepted, meaning that we probably could move clubs. And so if a club opens up in which it's partway through the season and I'm interested in the job, I'll of course throw it out to you guys, and you guys will make the final decision as to whether or not we should move there. But I was just wondering if you thought we should move midway through the season or if we should definitely wait until the end, because I know some people will want me to move ASAP and go halfway through the season, then other people will say just stay to the end, we want to see what happens here at Leeds. And part of me saying move halfway through and part of me saying stay to the end, because I don't know which way to swing. So hopefully you guys will be able to tell me and let me know. We did try and join, obviously, a new club at the start of this season, but we're unable to do so because our manager rating was so low due to the fact we didn't do a youth academy project, which is, I've mentioned it before, I am very disappointed in the board in order for that one to have affected me, because we won 2 Champions League trophies back-to-back and 3 Premier League titles back-to-back. But apparently that is not enough. But I'm not going to go on about it too much because I've already banged on about the fact that that's not enough, and I was angry at that. But it is what it is. We had our first gameplay game of the episode here against Rangers in the Champions League. I mentioned as well last episode that our group stage consists of Rangers, Atletico Madrid and Galatasaray. Now, Rangers aren't really going to do too much for me. I don't think they're going to be a team which I should fear. I don't think they're going to get out of the groups, if I'm being honest with you. It's going to be between them and Galatasaray, in my opinion, for the bottom 2 places of the group. Now, whoever comes out on top, it'll be interesting to see. I would like to see Rangers get into the Europa League in that 3rd place, but chances are it will be Galatasaray or maybe even Atletico Madrid, because we don't really know how strong Atletico Madrid are now in this one. We, of course, 5 seasons in or 6 seasons in now. So it's like a lot of the teams that we would have thought would be quite good back then when we first started this series are probably not the same teams now in this series. So we've got to take that into consideration. Atletico Madrid may not be the same force to be reckoned with that they are in current world football. But you can see 6 minutes in, I was absolutely on top in this game for the majority of it. And Rangers were struggling to keep hold of my team. You know, when you got the likes of Eriksen, El Ghazi, you know, just such a strong team to come in. And this isn't even in my strongest 11. I didn't even play the strongest 11, and they were already on top here inside 8 minutes. El Ghazi with a headed goal towards the back post, assisted by Christian Eriksen, the Danish playmaker yet again. He has been such a hero for us. Whipping a ball into the back post, and Anwar rises highest to put that in the back of the net to give us the lead in this one. And it's like I said, I was not expecting much from Rangers, if I'm being completely honest. I mean, no disrespect by that, but you've got to look at the 2 teams on paper and look at how much better our side are than theirs. And it's just simply the fact is, our players, one of our players is probably more worth value-wise than their entire starting 11, which is crazy. But we had another chance 15 minutes in. It came to, in the end, Roberto Firmino. He spins a man, and that's just a world-class finish from a world-class player. Roberto Firmino gets in the area, and he's on such a ridiculous angle there, but a low-driven shot into the bottom corner makes it 2-0 inside 16 minutes. And as I said, Rangers shouldn't have really got themselves anything out of this game. If they'd have got themselves something out of this one, I'd have been utterly disappointed in myself and my gameplay, not the team. The team that I named out there were strong enough to beat them, and that's why we were 2-0 up inside the first 20 minutes of the game. Keeper maybe could have got a hand to that, but in the end, he didn't manage to do it, and Firmino doubled our lead. But 23 minutes in, we had another chance here for ourselves. Eriksen, nice ball down the right-hand side to El Ghazi. El Ghazi, I thought, was going to bury this in the top corner, but no, wasn't to be. I thought he was going to repeat his heroics and managed to bag that into the top corner there, but unfortunately, he was just off target. But you can see how quick and fluid our passing moves are currently in this game. I had a lot of the play, but then when they concede a goal like this, I get so mad and angry when I concede goals that just shouldn't have gone in. And it seems as though right now, defensively, I'm strong enough, but if you ever get those times when in career mode where you just can't do anything and you're basically going to concede because EA have it out for you and are going to make sure that you concede at the end of it, there's literally no defending against it. I mean, there, for example, that was Rangers' first real chance in this game, and it came at the hands of a completely stupid mistake made. It just got crossed in, and my keeper made a save. Didn't know too much about the save, bear in mind, but it came back to a Rangers man, and he put it into the empty net, so I was frustrated at that point. And when Anthony Martial gets through and does this for you, it makes me even more frustrated, because I was thinking, if Rangers come back to draw this 2-2, and we've got 30 minutes left in this game, there's a chance they can do so, I'll be frustrated. But I did need that third goal, and I did want to get it ASAP, and Eriksen steals the ball back here, and eventually we managed to find it back into Christian Eriksen, who gives it off to Kante, who gives it off to Firmino, sees the run of Martial being made, and it's so unlucky for the Rangers centre-back there that he doesn't manage to get on the end of that one. Not quite sure why Martial took it with his left foot, but regardless, he put it in the back of the net anyway, so I'm very happy with that one. So Rangers 1, Leeds United 3. I'm disappointed with the fact we've conceded here because, in my opinion, the goal they scored was a bit of AIDS, but it is what it is, and sometimes the goals do happen that way, and other times it'll go your way instead, so I can't really complain too much. We've had a bit of luck in the series before to ourselves, so, like I said, I can't really complain. Made a couple of changes as well, got Anthony Martial off because I wanted to save him for the Premier League, just to make sure that we had full fitness around and available on all of our players that we wanted to play in the Prem. Martial chasing that third in a row, or the third time in a row that he will get the Golden Boot, hopefully this season, before we move. If we do move in January, though, we won't be able to see if he does get the Golden Boot. But you can see, 3-1 victory against Rangers, another 3 points in the Champions League group as well. We've got a game later on in the episode as well, guys, up against Atletico Madrid. So we'll get a first look at how they look and how they play as a team. I said, I don't know if they're going to be the same sort of force to be reckoned with. They actually lost there 2-0 by Galatasaray, so it could be that I'm not giving Galatasaray enough credit here, because they could actually surprise me and actually get through in second place in the group and knock out Atletico Madrid to the Europa League, which would be an interesting one. But I'm still confident that I'll say right now that Atletico Madrid will be will be going through the group, and Galatasaray will be forced into the Europa League instead. But that was a pretty vital 3 points for Galatasaray, in my opinion, if I do say so myself. We then took on Stoke for the Premier League game in this episode. They've got the former Leeds United man, Alban Lafont, in their team. You guys have suggested that I pick him up, but a few of you as well, some of the OG people on the channel, remember way back when we first picked up Alban Lafont, have politely told them that we did have him in the series already and sold him on for 31 million. If I move clubs, guys, I might sign him back. But the thing is, I don't particularly tend to sign players back to a club once I've sold them, because I just don't feel as though it'd be the right thing to do unless I could get them cheaper than I actually bought or sold them for. Because, if you pay more than what you got for them, it doesn't make sense to do so. So therefore, I would always just try and keep them away from the club unless I could get them for cheaper than what I sold, which in some cases you can if you get them on pre-contracts, but other times I just tend not to go back for players. But if I ever went to a different club, maybe I would sign Alban Lafont. We'll just have to wait and see. But you can see this Stoke City lineup was pretty damn good. It popped up on your screen just before. They have Jack Butland in goal and Alban Lafont on the bench. That's how good their two keepers are. 87 rated Butland and 85 or so rated Alban Lafont. Alban Lafont's not a bad backup keeper to call upon. But 3 minutes into the game, we had the first chance. Joel Green whipping in across towards the back post. And this is why I am utterly frustrated with James Rodriguez. He's so inconsistent finishing-wise that I don't enjoy using him. That header, it's not a difficult header to do. It's free header, and he put it wide, and I was gutted. I was thinking, I can't believe he just missed that, James. So I will be probably looking to sell him on in January, and a couple of you guys have suggested me to sell him and play Firmino at camp instead. We took the lead, though, inside 35 minutes when Anthony Martial got on the end of a through ball and simply tapped that one past Jack Butland in goal. And showing exactly what you need to do to James Rodriguez and how to put the ball in the back of the net, if I'm being honest with you. As I said, I'm not enjoying using him. I personally think that Barkley and Eriksen have been better cams for us in the entirety of this series, and I haven't really enjoyed James Rodriguez. And although I've played him out on the left, I've played him up front, I've played him in numerous positions in this Leeds United team, and I just simply have not enjoyed him. His finishing's so inconsistent in and around that penalty area that when I get Eriksen in there, I know for a fact Eriksen's hitting the target and it's normally going in the back of the net. So in my opinion, I will be probably getting rid of James Rodriguez and looking to bring in somebody else, or just keep the cash and hold on to it and maybe sign one outstanding player for 150 million if there's anybody better than Neymar out there. Because if you remember back, we signed Neymar for 125 million and he is currently the world's best player. As Lukaku here, absolute powerhouse, makes it 2-0 inside 42 minutes. Great run from Lukaku and a low-driven shot into the bottom corner. Jack Butland beaten twice in the first half here, and it looks as if the points will be heading back to Ellen Road with ourselves. But as I said, I don't think there's anybody better than Neymar currently in my series, which means he's the highest rated player at 95. And then maybe a couple of players that are close to it. I think Joel Green's 94, so he technically is up there in the world's best. But I think Neymar is currently the highest player in the game. Maybe Pogba is up there as well. I'll have to see that one. But I will be looking at signing just an absolute crazy signing if we do get rid of James Rodriguez and get a lot of money for him into the team. If I get an offer for him, I will sell him. I'm not sure if I'm going to transfer list him, because when you transfer list players, you don't get you don't get as much as an offer as you would be expecting to get. As Stoke here really should have made it 2-1. So agonising for them. I was gutted for them. They were so close to making it 2-1. A whisker away from getting on the end of that cross there, and it would have been 2-1. And Arnautovic here, no idea what he's thinking. It's 90th minute. I suppose he just thought, I'll take the strike on. But we did pick up the 2-0 victory and the 3 points in this game. So comfortable all the way through. I'm very happy as well with the fact that we managed to get ourselves another 3 points on the board. You can see as well Anthony Martial on the day scoring alongside Romelu Lukaku. So both strikers that I named on the day playing exceptionally well and grabbing themselves both a goal. You can see the rest of the results on your screen there. United beating Villa, Southampton beating Bournemouth, Chelsea beating Newcastle as well. If you remember, Newcastle finished in the top 4 last season, so they are technically still a very, very good team in this one, and it could be an interesting game, that one. I'm not sure what I think the top 4 is going to be come the end of the season in this one, because of course last season I didn't predict that Newcastle would be up there and in the Champions League this season, but they were up there. So I'm thinking we're going to get another surprise in the top 4 come the end of this season if we do stay long enough for us to be still here. But you can see sim game here against Villa. You can see the team on the left-hand side of your screen. Martial, Lukaku, Rodriguez, Green, El Ghazi, Jackson, Grimaldo, Bailly, Oxford, Bellerin and Lou start this one. And Mavi gets an early red card here inside 4 minutes. I do think we're going to win this by 2-1, which is a very comfortable game and a nice 3 points for us here as El Ghazi opens up the scoring from that right midfield spot. Firmino comes on for Anthony Martial and Joel Green makes it 2 inside 50 minutes. As I said, Rodriguez did play in this one, but he doesn't actually grab himself a goal. He might have gotten himself assists, I don't particularly know. Because I don't actually know, guys, if you sim games, maybe you guys know. Tell me in the comments below, if when you sim games, do your players get credited with assists if somebody scores? Because I don't know 100% if they do or if it just gets credited with a goal or not. But you can see we've got that game upcoming here against Atletico Madrid, and we sold Leno, remember, to Spurs. So at some point in the series, chances are, when we come up against Spurs, there is a chance we'll be able to play against Leno and see if he can keep us out at White Hart Lane or at Ellen Road. See if he can make the saves to deny us the points in that one. He didn't really get into the team towards the back end of his career here at Ellen Road. I was quite harsh to him, so maybe he's got a point to prove once we go back there. But you can see, taking on Atletico Madrid, you'll see their team in just a second. You can see ours on the screen just before we went into it, but you get another chance to see it as well in game. And I think I played Barkley instead of James Rodriguez. The only changes I made were literally just to make sure we had fitness reasons, but I unfortunately didn't have anybody out on that right-hand side to come in, so I had to play Joe Green there yet again, and unfortunately he was quite low on fitness, so I did make a change at halftime also to get him out and bring on somebody with full fitness. But I'm pretty sure, guys, we actually picked up an injury to Neymar. So I don't know if I showed you in this one or if it's an upcoming episode. We're actually without Neymar for 2 months. It might have already started in this one, and that's why he hasn't featured in a while. I think I showed you. I'm not entirely sure. But I know for a fact we were without Neymar for 2 months. So it might have been during this one or it might be during the next one. If it's already happened, I apologise. I didn't see it and I missed it. I'm pretty sure, though, we are without... Yeah, we must be without Neymar because I would have played him here if we weren't. So unfortunately, the highest rated player in the world is currently out injured, meaning Januzaj comes into the team, but he's not a bad replacement to have, is he, out on that left-hand side. So you can see both teams getting ready for this one, and I control play throughout in the early part of this game. Barkley getting on a very good run here, gives it off to Joel Green. Green makes the run, takes the strike on. It's a good save from the man between the sticks here, and eventually we managed to create another chance from this one. It comes here to Januzaj. Januzaj to the edge of the area where Reece Oxford is. He flicks it around the corner to Rodriguez. Rodriguez tried to work some space for the strike, couldn't manage to do it, and it comes to Oxford. And eventually I have like a little bit of passing play going on here, just trying to create another chance for myself. Eventually Green does the man brilliantly, gets past him, whips the cross in towards the back post. Januzaj can't win it there. It comes back to Firmino. Firmino nods it back into an area. It comes to Lukaku, holds off the defender. Lukaku back to Green. It's such a long chance, this one, but eventually it finds its way to Romelu Lukaku, who takes the strike on, and it ends up going just over the bar. And unfortunately, it would have been nice to see that nestle in the top corner after that great little team play there to keep hold of the ball for that length of time. Would have been great for it to be 1-0, but Lukaku gets another chance for himself here inside this one. Takes a strike on, low-driven shot, off the post it came, and I was gutted. I thought we weren't going to get the goal in the opening first half here, or in the second half. And 54 minutes into it, we came out for the second half, and we did grab the opening goal of the game. Firmino, great turn, and an even better finish from the Brazilian. And I have to say, I know I overpaid for him, guys. I know I paid 50 million in deadline day, and I know that that was a ridiculous fee to pay for somebody like Firmino. But, to his defence, he's been exceptionally good since he's come, and he's been exceptionally good in a Leeds United shirt. He scored some pretty good goals for us. He scored some vital goals down the line as well. So for 50 million quid, I can't complain. Yes, I did sort of overpay for him at the time, and yes, it was a bit of a panic, well, not even a panic buy, just I wanted to spend my cash that I had remaining in the club. So in my opinion, guys, I think he's been worth that 50 million, although I did overspend for him. I would happily pay 50 million quid for him yet again. So that's pretty much, guys, going to wrap up this episode. You can see Atletico Madrid did not have a shot in that one. That's how much I dominated that game. Crazy amount. So if you enjoyed this episode, if you could smash the like button, that would be great. If we could hit 25 likes on today's episode, that would be even better. As always, thank you all for your continued support, and I will catch you all with another video very soon. Adios!